How will the Seattle Seahawks do at the quarterback position in the 2025 season? What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are doing well. And it's time to start making some predictions. That's right. It is July, and we're a few weeks away from training camp, meaning it's time to put some predictions out there. Obviously, these predictions are being made with minimal information. We have not seen the full training camp stuff yet. We have not seen preseason. We haven't even seen the Football Fest game, the simulated game. So we're not working with a ton of data, but that may not be the worst thing in the world either. Sometimes that data just ends up tricking you. So let's make some predictions about how some Seahawks players are going to do. Today is going to be all about the quarterback, or I should say the quarterbacks, because we have more than one. And one way or the other, I think that we have three quarterbacks that will get involved. Obviously, some less than others. But I don't think this is going to be a one quarterback show. So we're doing the quarterbacks, or maybe it would be more accurate to call them passers. How do I think they will do? We're going to be talking about these players in terms of their box score numbers. Keep in mind that the box score numbers do not necessarily indicate how good or bad the player is playing. It is entirely possible for a player to put up great box score stats and still not be getting it done. And the opposite is also true. It does happen. So we're going to evaluate these players during the season by different criteria than just this, but this is a decent starting point. And realistically, it's the only starting point we can really have right now, right? The minutia that really constitutes whether or not a player is playing good, especially when it comes to a quarterback, is something that kind of has to be seen and is something that is often variable based on context. So let's go ahead and get in here first. Please like this video if you haven't already. Click the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Click the bell for notifications. Become a channel member for $2 a month. Those are the best ways to support. Second, I will be going live on Bleacher Report tonight, so tune in. Should be going live right around 6 Pacific. So if you don't have the app installed already, install it. And we'll be having some fun tonight talking about Seahawks stuff over on the Bleacher Report. So tune in. Okay, so we're going to start with Sam Darnold, the presumed starter. And I don't think he's going to put up monster numbers, but I do imagine in this offense he will be fairly efficient. I think he's good enough to handle this offense. I think that in this Kubiak run first offense, he should be fairly effective. So completions, let me clear that. Yeah, I went with 340, which is 20 a game, which doesn't sound that high, but that's because we had to deal with Ryan Grubb's offense last year. This year, the defense should be very good. I think that you're going to be looking at a team that is really focused on running the ball a decent amount. And because of that, I think that the completions are going to be down. And I don't have the attempts terribly high either. 530, which, by the way, makes a completion percentage of 64.15, which isn't super high, but it should be good enough. And I think that'll get the job done. I don't know if it'll go over the top and allow us to be a great offense, but I think that's fine. That's just a couple percentage points down from last year when he was playing with Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson. That's not going to be replicated here. There's no way. So I'm sure things will come down a little bit, but we're also going to be asking a little bit less of Darnold potentially, at least in terms of the raw volume stats, right? We're not going to be asking him to throw the ball as much as the Vikings did. So that could help. Yards, I ended up going just under 4,000, 3,969. I'm sure we're going to have to call on him a decent amount. We're going to be taking some shot plays with MVS, going to be pushing the ball down the field in those situations, but I think a lot of the stuff is going to be closer to the line of scrimmage. I think that a lot of the stuff is going to be run, and hit the throws when they're needed. And hopefully the defense makes it so that we don't need to throw the ball that much. So just under 4,000, which seems a little bit low. But I also imagine that he'll miss a few series here and there, hopefully because of blowouts at the end of games, maybe because he gets dinged up. But he should get to 4,000 if he actually plays all 17 games, all the snaps. Touchdowns, I went with 23. Again, I think the nature of the way this offense is going to be calling plays and the way the defense will play will keep that number down. I also think the turnovers are going to be down more than you might expect. I kept it to 10. I don't think Darnold is a guy who's capable of keeping his interceptions to like 7 or 8 in a full season. I just don't think that really lines up with the way he plays football. But I think keeping it down to 10 with reduced throws can happen. So that would come out to a quarterback rating of 94.3, which is fine. It's okay. It works. I don't know if it'll be enough to make this team great, but I think that it'll keep them afloat, and maybe that'll be enough with the defense. It comes down to other stuff, right? And I also went with 44 sacks, which might be a little bit low, honestly. Darnold is a guy who holds onto the ball a lot. I don't think this offensive line is going to be a huge upgrade over last year yet, but it is in line with what he did last year in Minnesota behind what I believe to be a better offensive line than the offensive line we're going to have this year. And it is actually still less than what we dealt with last year. And I think this offensive line should be a little bit better than that one, at least. So that's Darnold. It's a good season. I don't think he's going to reach for the stars here, but I think he'll be capable. And I think you can win games here. Now, again, I want to stress, this doesn't tell us the whole picture, right? He's going to have opportunities to win the game in the fourth quarter or overtime. And a big part of his value is going to be, can he cash in those opportunities? Can he lead the team down the field to go win the game with 2 minutes left down by 3? That is something that is not reflected in numbers like this, but a huge part of a quarterback's value is getting it done in those situations when it's just you running the offense and the defense knowing what is coming and you needing to be able to execute anyway. That we'll just have to see. We'll have to see. Okay, I do have a little bit going on here with Drew Lock. I went with 8 completions for a grand total of, 8 completions on 12 attempts, which is a total of 66.7 completion percentage, whatever, that doesn't matter. And really none of this matters that much. I don't think Lock is going to play a ton. Maybe he'll mop up at the end of games. Maybe there will be a game where Darnold gets dinged up, and then we got to send Drew Lock out there to mop up. So 101 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception, 59.4 QB rating, and 2 sacks. I'm not enamored with Drew Lock, and I don't think he's going to play that much this year, but I also don't think he's going to negatively affect the team. Like, he is still a better backup than what we had last year with Howell, and he is better than a lot of backups out there. I just don't think he's going to make a big impact on this team. So I just put some light numbers out there. I wouldn't read too much into any of it. And that leaves us one quarterback left, right? We got Jaylen Milroe. And I'll say this, I think he does play some this year. Now, I want to be very clear about this. I don't think Milroe is going to play quarterback this year, or at the very least, if he does play quarterback, it's going to be packages where it's not traditional drop back stuff. It's going to be Taysom Hill type stuff. It's going to be designed run stuff. It's going to be trick play stuff where he lines up as a receiver or tight end. It's not going to be, oh, Sam Darnold isn't feeling it today, or Sam Darnold got dinged up. Milroe, go out there and actually line up behind center and play the position of quarterback. So I'm not looking for him to do a ton. I think it'll be a handful of plays throughout the season. I ended up going with 5 completions on 7 attempts. Nothing crazy. Pretty normal stuff when you have a player like this. I think we got plans for him, but I think those plans are going to be somewhat limited compared to what some people might have going on in their heads. So anyway, that would be a completion percentage of 71.4, sure. And I think that he'll bust a big player too with his arm, because off of trick plays, you do tend to get a lot of big stuff going down the field. 97 yards. And I went with 2 touchdowns. When you hit those trick plays, usually they do go for big plays that end up in the end zone. No interceptions, I'll say too. Usually you don't have a lot of interceptions on plays like that. So that'd be a really good quarterback rating, right? Again, don't read too much into that, because it's not going to be traditional quarterback stuff. But I do think he'll get to show the arm a little bit. And that is that. So I did have us getting to, oh, and by the way, that's not right. Almost 4,200 yards. I do have us getting somewhere around, if you look at it in total, 65% completion, 25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. I mean, it's a pretty decent season. 46 sacks, honestly, 46 sacks in 17 games. That might be overly optimistic. I'm betting on us running the ball a lot. If we run the ball a lot, the opportunities to get sacked are going to be reduced. But this is where I ended up landing overall. It's not stellar, I know that, but it should work. It should work as long as the other elements of this team work. All right, so that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys feel about it. Again, this doesn't capture everything about how good these players are or how effective these players will be, but it gives an idea of a general sense of capable quarterback play. All right, I will see you guys later today or tomorrow. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think down below.